Hi, it's me, the guy who was least excited for the Marvel Zombie episodes, and they kind of proved me wrong. Let's talk about What If Episode 5. Bruce Banner is sent down to Earth from the Asgardian ship after Thanos' attack, but what he finds is a deserted planet where the Avengers are infected by a zombie plague and the surviving heroes search for a cure. Welcome back to another What If review. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Before I start, this will have spoilers for the entire episode, so do go watch it before watching this, or if you don't care about spoilers, or if you've seen the episode already, welcome to the discussion. Go ahead and join me in the comments down below and start the conversation. It's always the most important part. And if this is the first video clicking on for me, I review What If every week, so make sure you consider clicking that subscribe button because it helps the channel a ton, does wonders to get the content out there, and you'll always be aware of whenever there's more What If movie TV shows coverage. So as stated in the intro to this video, I was not excited for this episode. Marvel Zombies has never been an attraction for me. I am very tired of the zombie thing in general, and I just find that What If Marvel Zombies is like the least creative endeavor they could dive in. But they do a good job in this episode, I have to admit it. The zombie part is still the least interesting element of it. What I like the most in this episode is, first of all, the scenario. It's the moment where basically Infinity War starts. Bruce Banner is sent down to Earth, Ebony Maw and Cull Obsidian come after him, and soon enough, Bruce sees himself very afraid because the Hulk is not coming out. So they continue that through line, that character story that we had in Infinity War, but soon enough, Wong, Doctor Strange, Tony Stark come in to help. But Bruce notices that they are doing a little bit of overkill, which I really like how it was shot. They left it very vague. There was a lot of dust and smoke in front of the eating, and they utilized that horror element of the episode to its full potential. Soon enough, Bruce realizes they're zombies, and he is saved by Spider-Man. And to my knowledge, by the way, I think everyone returned to voice their characters in this episode, even characters I had no clue were going to be in this, but we'll get to it. And so soon enough, Peter, Bruce meet up with Bucky and Okoye and Sharon Carter and Happy Hogan, and all of them have found this distress signal that they think is pointing them to a possible cure, or at least to a safe haven where they can be safe and not worry too much about the zombies finding them. Which ensues in a great chase sequence, a runaway sequence in a train station. We have Happy working with Sharon, we have Hope there as well, which I forgot to mention quickly, by the way. Really love seeing Hope in here, really love the starring role she actually has in this episode. And of course, you cannot have a zombie episode without having sacrifices, which I really like. Some people may in fact think this episode went a little bit overkill with the sacrifices, but I really liked how it showed the dire consequences of it all, and it actually examined characters. Hope is dealing with a lot of guilt, and Peter is just struggling to keep being himself throughout this episode. And I think Peter and Hope are the two strongest characters that are present here. We see Peter dealing a lot with the death of Happy as he dies at the hands of Hawkeye, and soon enough, as they get on the train, they're able to get away, but Sharon herself dies soon enough as Cap Zombie boards the train, but he is quickly killed by Bucky, who takes up the shield. Okoye at one point kills Sam Wilson, just cutting him in half, which was frigging awesome. And I should address that I'm disappointed that Bucky didn't do anything cool with the shield. I know this was a forcible situation. He wouldn't necessarily want to take up that mantle. He just saw himself having to do it, but still, since they did it, I wish we could have seen a little bit more of an action sequence where Bucky used the shield a lot. And so after this quick fight with Cap and Bucky, Sharon is infected by Cap Zombie, and Hope quickly enters her mouth and then grows back to normal size, but we see that she has a scratch on her arm, and so the consequences once again are dire. The train runs out of fuel at a point, and they have this sea of zombies ahead of them to get to that safe haven. And Hope sacrifices herself. Hope Sacrifice is by far my favorite in this episode. I absolutely adore it. She turns into a giant, which is just great to see her turn into a giant. We didn't know she could do that. We assumed she could, but we never saw it in practice, and so I really like this episode taking advantage of this very concept, of the premise of the show. Just go wild, give us all the possible scenarios we can't see in the movies, and it's little things like this that I really appreciated in this episode and in most of the others. I also should address that how the zombie apocalypse started is when Hank Pym went into the quantum realm to find Janet, and she herself contracted the virus in there that was a zombie, and so when Hank comes back, he is a zombie, and that's how it starts. For a long time we assume that Scott is dead. Even the episode fooled me in thinking the cloak had just disappeared, because the cloak helps Banner in the beginning of this episode against Doctor Strange and Wong and the others, but then he comes back before they pull on the train and start going to help Peter Parker with the zombies. And Peter does look really cool with the cloak, not gonna lie. And so as Hope carries them across a field of zombies and drops them at the safe haven, she falls into the ground. She is dead, and I just knew it, that she should have gone back to normal size before dying, as the zombies were climbing on top of her. They were breaking the visor of her mask, because I just knew she's gonna be a giant zombie. I mean, come on guys, come on Hope, just go back to normal size. You have the time as you're falling in slow motion to press that button on your wrist. They should have totally done it. I knew it. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it. And it was pretty cool. So as Bruce, Kurt, what I forgot to mention at the beginning, Okoye, Peter, they get to the safe haven and they find Vision. Apparently the Mind Stone creates an aversion to the zombies because he is an android. They have no interest and they're kind of afraid of going in there. And as the heroes explore the situation, they find that Scott Lang is alive, and apparently Hope saved them, which is another small gripe I have of the episode. We see Scott supposedly dying, and I bought it, don't get me wrong, I bought that Scott was actually dying, even though I kept thinking, oh, I expected the Scott Lang head to be a part of this episode. Turns out he is. We just get a quick line at the end that it was Hope that saved him, now twice, and we'll get to that. I just wish you could have seen a quick flashback to how she saved him. So Scott is there, Vision is there, and Bucky is exploring this kind of dark alleyway at that base, and he hears a noise, and he shoots, and we see a red glow around the person he shot at. And I just thought, oh shit, things are gonna go bad. And then T'Challa is there, Chadwick Boseman again. I just started getting swollen up in my emotions. T'Challa is missing a leg from like the thigh down. They discovered that Vision has not been saving people. He has been bringing people here and cutting them off little by little to just feed Wanda and control her hunger. And soon enough, of course, Wanda breaks loose, and she's the big monster in this episode, I guess. She's the real monster amongst the many monsters that are present here, and she starts kicking ass. She kills Okoye as everyone else tries to run away, but Vision decides to amend for his sins, which I thought just felt too sudden. There was a quick line from Bruce asking for Vision to help them, and he helped him, which is fine. I get that these episodes are small, but this episode was like 29 minutes long. You could have done 1-2 more scenes that gave 2 more minutes to the episode to flesh out Vision's crucial decision at the end. Nevertheless, he cuts around the base, sends Wanda plummeting down to the earth, and takes the Mind Stone off of himself, so we do get to see once more Vision dying, except this time it's suicide. So he's part of the Suicide Squad. That was a bad joke. So our heroes get to the quad jet, but the zombies are just coming in hot. Wanda is not dead, she's coming in hot, and Bruce decides to sacrifice himself, which gave me one of my favorite scenes in this show already, in this episode, that I was least expecting, which is the Hulk going wild, standing up to Wanda, and I'm like, fuck yes, that's the Hulk. That's the Monster Hulk that I know and that I love, and I'm so happy to finally see him. Even if it's not in live action, I just love seeing the Hulk just throw away zombies like they're nothing, which to the Hulk they are, and then standing up to Wanda and giving her the fight for her life which it is what would happen if you went on against the Hulk. So by the end, our only surviving members are Spider-Man, T'Challa, missing a leg, and Scott, or at least the head of Scott Lang. And then there's this quick scene where Hope is alive. Well, not alive. She's turned into a zombie, but she's a giant zombie, and she gets to grab the quad jet. But eventually, they let go, and they go to Wakanda with the Mind Stone to get a cure. But we quickly cut into Wakanda, and there is Thanos inside the bubble in the city with the Infinity Gauntlet, only the Mind Stone missing, and he is also a zombie. Love this ending. I think it's really cool. I don't think I'd buy that Thanos with all those stones would turn into a zombie. I also don't know if I buy how well the zombies control their powers or even use their powers as they are zombies. I just don't know if I buy it, you know? But yeah, the Marvel What If Zombies episode really surprised me. It had good character moments, it gave us a good team that we've never seen together for the most part. We never had much interaction between T'Challa and Spider-Man, T'Challa and Scott, Spider-Man and Hope, Hulk and Banner. We dive a little bit more into it, more than we did in Infinity War. There's so many interesting and unique character interactions we've never seen before. That's what really made me grab onto this episode and enjoy the rides. And the zombies just happened to be there and they didn't bother me too much. It's interesting, even though I'm not sure if it works for me, it's interesting to see zombies with superpowers, not gonna lie. I enjoyed this episode more than I ever thought I would. So once again, they proved me wrong, and I cannot wait again to see what comes next. I'm giving Marvel's What If Zombies episode a B. I had a much better time than I expected watching this episode. I have small gripes and that's why it only gets a B, but a B is way over what I thought I would end up giving this episode. So let me know what you thought, if you liked it more than me, if you disliked it. Do you love zombies? Do you love Marvel zombies? Throw it all down there in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. You are the best. I hope to see you soon in many other videos coming very soon. And so until the next one, love each other and love the movies.